Recently I was listening to someone. I had my headphones in, and someone was going off about a alien type of conspiracy theory where he said that the COVID virus was alien in nature, and all sorts of paranoid conspiracy standard stuff that you're talking about. Now, I think it's possible to kind of not break, but break the chain of propaganda these people have been living under. But you can only do it by knowledge. The problem is that a lot of people who, call themselves experts in things are not exactly experts in things. Like, you can break down conspiracy thinking, and, I think a lot of people spout conspiracies because just they don't know the answers, and it's easier to get on the aggressive and say something crazy and try and get someone to disprove you. And I really think a lot of people are searching for answers about how to live life. And I broke it down for him. I said, first off, if you think there's an alien species trying to program us, how would those aliens get here? Now, in order to help you understand the vastness of that issue, like people say, oh yeah, they have some superior technology. Well, this is beyond superior technology. We're talking about, the speed of light. The speed of light to travel across the Earth can travel across the Earth in 0.13 seconds. That's not even enough to form a cohesive thought, and light can travel across Earth in that frame of time. Now, let me explain to you just how vast that the universe is, and there are no signs of habitable planets aside from Earth in our solar system. So the Pluto, just to travel to Pluto, is 250 light minutes away from Earth. And a light year is something that, traveling at the speed of light, will take 1 year to reach. Now, the closest galaxy to Earth, which scientists are saying it is most likely that this galaxy and our Milky Way galaxy will collide in the future. Do you know how far away the next nearest galaxy that is supposed to collide with our galaxy is away? 2.537 million light years away. So traveling at the speed of light in order to reach the next closest galaxy to the Milky Way, we won't get there in 2.537 million years. So even if there was a civilization that was capable of this supreme technology, how the fuck would they get here? How the fuck would they get here? So, let me just say this. We are alone in the universe because we are effectively alone in the universe. No one's coming to see us. And if that doesn't help burst the aliens on Earth conspiracy bubble, then I don't know what is. You want to show me how they can get here, and then maybe I'll accept all this crazy horseshit that people have been spouting. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, this is The World According to Kyle podcast. We back, y'all. Once again. You can find me on my various social media platforms. YouTube at TWA2K. Twitter at Kyleverse. TikTok at Kyleverse. Instagram, KyleMax86. Reddit, TWA2K. If you have questions or topics you want me to see covered on the show, slide into one of my fantastic DMs. As far as acquiring this podcast for your listening pleasure goes, you can do that on YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio. And if there is any other platforms which you would prefer me listening on, let me know, and I'll get on them. I will make getting on those a priority just for you. Anyways, without further ado, let's get on to the topics here in the latest TWA2K. You know, I'm having a good time. I'm chilling. It's an NFL Sunday. I kind of got the game on in the background, but wanted to make sure I pumped out a podcast for you guys. It's November 6th right now, and, we just got out of the Halloween portion of the season, and, Halloween is definitely my favorite holiday. The more and more that I think about it, like, Christmas is, classist. Christmas is exclusionary. It's materialistic. It's overly religious. And I just love Halloween because it's absolutely none of those things, Halloween is inclusive, like, whether you're rich or you're poor, a lot of it is the same experience. You can not spend a lot on a costume. You can spend a lot on a costume. It's really, it's really all encompassing. And, I love seeing that, it's been a couple years since we've had a proper Halloween and the COVID. And it was just really nice seeing, all the kids dressed up and going to houses and getting candy, and was Halloween just one of those holidays where it's impossible for me to be in a bad mood on Halloween. I just feel like it's really for everybody, and doesn't pretend to be more than it is. And I'm a little pissed off that we don't have, like, either Halloween Day or the day after Halloween off, because we start having all these made-up holidays like the Civic Holiday and Family Day, and, like, they're just made-up things that we didn't embrace, that we didn't celebrate. And Halloween is one of those things that everybody loves, everybody celebrates, and we don't get a holiday for that because, like, it's pagan in origin. But it's just one of those beautiful things where you are going for a walk in your neighborhood and you're seeing all the kids dressed up and going and getting candy, and everybody just having a good time. And it's not like, my parent or Santa or whoever you think is giving you the presents, like, they gave me this kind of present, I got that kind of present, and comparing, the material value of your holiday and how you lived your holiday. I just think Halloween is something that, transcends class, and is just very cool. And it's always been my favorite holiday, and I will always respect it as such. And it's always a terrific time. Like I said, it's impossible for me to just have a bad time while Halloween is happening. I don't know. Oh, and sorry, I'm just watching the football game. Aaron Rodgers throws another pick in the end zone, and I'm just wondering how he's going to find a way to blame this on his wide receiving core. Also, since he could not possibly be what is wrong, or he could not possibly make an error because he's Aaron Rodgers. Now, speaking of, high-profile people and, the spotlight shining on certain types of people, there are two individuals who the spotlight is shining on pretty brightly, and, one of them I kind of agree with the, flash mob, or the mobs coming after, the internet mobs coming after, and one of them I don't. Now, the one that I do agree with the mobs going after is Kanye. Kanye is, I've never really liked, maybe liked is too soft of a word. Like, I've felt his music was okay. I never really felt like he was I could live with or without Kanye, to be honest with you. He has some good songs. He's mainly good at doing beats, and other than that, he's very, I don't relate to his music. It's very ego latent. It's very pop culture-y. It's not like the type of stuff where it really is like, it feels like he has to express himself or has something to say. And that's starting to shine because it feels like he's just trying to hold on to fame by being controversial and pissing people off, and that just kind of feels like it's par for the course for Kanye. I mean, that's all. It seems like that's all he's really ever done, and I don't have much to say about this. I expect people who make crappy art, or people who make mediocre art, to do these things. That's just what they do, because it's not about they didn't get famous because they're some great artists. They got famous because they convinced you into believing they were, or they had some sort of publicity stunt where you got to know their names and everything. Now, the other individual who I feel is getting more hate than he probably merits is Elon Musk for his acquisition of Twitter. Now, I posted a tweet in April about how I felt like Elon acquiring Twitter, it could be a good thing, because he's gonna do these things that other people are scared to do, and I think he's doing them, and I think he's getting unnecessary hate from the left for, as far as I can tell, is creating a more open social media platform than Twitter priorly was. So on April 25th, when Elon first teased to us that he was going to buy Twitter, and then subsequently tried to back out of it, so I posted on April 25th as I said, quote, "I do not have any political biases. I'm not left or right. Elon Musk buying is best case scenario for Twitter." And I gave 5 points as to what I felt like could be changed in order to make Twitter a better social media platform. So I said, 1, no shadow/overreaching bans, which I was a victim of 2 really bullshit bans, and not trying to present victimhood. It is what it is. It's like Twitter algorithms and shit, but I got banned twice for just straight up stupid reasons, and you can check my prior podcast for more details on those, but trust me, they were super stupid and were not merited of a banning. So he's done that. That's a check. So he's gonna stop these overreaching bans, which is great. Number 2, unlimited characters. And he just announced today on November the 6th that he is going to make that happen, which is perfect. And I said before, Twitter was an elitist platform before, and it was, because I felt a lot of why it was elitist is because of this limited characters concept, is that you cannot sit there and have a proper argument and outline why somebody is wrong if you do not have unlimited characters. And this is one of those things where the left, wants character limitations, but I mean, does that really help them? Like, I'm not left or right. I very much want to see people undiscriminated against, and I very much want to see more open societies. But the left will literally cut off its nose to spite its face. It cannot see that Elon is not, he's more of a he's more of a sheep in wolf's clothing right now. He's more trying too hard to appease to the right, but structurally is doing things that the left should like that. I mean, being able to disseminate somebody's argument and being able to go through all the points and detail is important. And that, I feel, lended into the elitism that was inherent to Twitter. Okay, so, not to get off on too much of a tangent, I'm just trying to explain my rationale for thinking all these points and what I was thinking with these points and how it would make Twitter better. So the number 3 point that I brought up was elimination of spam/bot via KYC. Now, this is the one that we haven't checked off yet, because it's a little more complicated. It's a little more nuanced. What is he going to do? I'm hopeful that the blue check marks will basically be proven verified people with identities, and that would be terrific. That would be what you want. You want real people using your platform. You don't want anime guy 062148, all these random ass people who probably has 5 or 6 different accounts that he trolls on. You don't want that. You want real people, real verified people. So I don't know if they're going to do KYC or they're just going to do $5 a month and you can open up one of these, parody profiles on Twitter and still be able to get blue checkmark verified. So I don't know what they're going to do with that. I think it should only be people. But that's there's a little bit of gray area with that, and you can go in a lot of different directions. So that is, we still got the jury out on that. But my next 2 points, he fixed them. He's gonna, or he's probably gonna fix them. So the 4th one, he did fix. The blue checkmark system is fixed. And I do not know why the left is so up in arms about this. You can use their platform for free, or you could pay $8 a month for it, which is extremely cheap to get a blue check mark. Now, their prior system before was just arbitrarily deciding who's worthy of a blue check mark and not. How is that not elitist? That lends itself to elitism. It allows for, and when you're not paying for something, you can't really say, hey, it should be run like this and run like that. $8 a month, so what? You can't afford, $100 throughout a course of a year to be blue checkmark, then great. You can use Twitter exactly to the same effect, but the left complaining about this like it's some sort of atrocity, to like he's trying to skim off people. No, that is a fair way. It's about as cheap as you could possibly ask for, and it's non-discriminatory. You don't have arbitrary guidelines to fit up to. Oh, I hope I appease the Twitter gods and they gave me a blue check mark to validate my identity as a real person. I will gladly pay for the $8 a month blue check mark because it's super important, and if you use Twitter a lot, it helps you a lot. So the fits over this is absolutely crazy. You know, either you think it's worth paying for and you pay this very nominal, very cheap rate to utilize Twitter to its fullest potential, or you don't and you keep using it exactly the same. Like, this is obvious stuff to me, and this is why I tweeted it before Elon even mentioned that he was going to do anything. I said he would be the most likely to make these changes if it's just sold to another hedge fund capitalist. Then what are they going to do? They're going to just they're going to kowtow to the elitists, and he is actually trying to make it a social square and a social forum. And I feel like the left is just blinded by hatred of him, just too blinded by hatred of him to be able to see this obvious, this obvious evolution of Twitter and social media. And the fifth thing that I brought up, which I feel like is a very simple thing, is just an edit button. And that was the fifth point that I brought up. He should be doing that. That should be a check. And then the last part of the tweet was, I just said, how could this be a bad thing? The left has gotten all up in arms over this. And now they see the problem that they had was that they got too used to being pandered to, and we just need to focus on doing what is fair, and that is, you know, I feel like the extremism from the right has been brought about by you know, the left feeling like this sense of empowerment by getting pandered to, and that's realistically not how we solve anything. That realistically is it's just delaying a larger problem, because there's going to be a class that gets discriminated against and reacts accordingly. Now, left or right, you should just want things to be run to the best of their ability. You should not want your side pandered to just for the sake of pandering to them. And maybe I'm like the only apolitical person in the world, but it seems like everyone has a fucking super negative reaction to Elon Musk purchasing the Twitter platform. I'm saying hold your horses, and you know, I will not cut off my nose to spite my face. If you know, I want to see, you know, I love other cultures, I love integration, I love everybody feeling safe in an environment, but you know, just because somebody has like some right-wing stances, it doesn't mean that the product they're promoting like is harmful or is a worse version of what it could be. Like, if you feel like you could do a better job, then explain why. Like, I literally explained in pointed details why I thought Elon would change Twitter for the better, and he did those things, and I think Twitter will be better as a result. Oh, hold up. We have breaking news on TWA2K. I just got liked and retweeted by my favorite author. I just got liked and retweeted live on the podcast. Holy cow. By Nassim Nicholas Taleb, a very inspirational author for me. Wow, that's crazy. I didn't get retweeted by him. I got retweeted by his likes page, but I did get liked by him. And so the tweet I got, the reply, I replied to one of his tweets where he mentioned Edward Snowden tweets this fake kids book. It's called "Everyone I Don't Agree With Is a Russian Bot," in subtitle, "A Child's Guide to Media and Government Excuse Making for Political Failings." Now, Nassim retweeted this and said, "Evidence that Edward Snowden is a Russian asset," and I completely agree. Okay, so let me just say what I replied with that he liked. It says, "People always have a way of confessing on themselves if you listen," and so I feel like I have a complicated relationship with this whole Snowden and Assange thing. Like, I feel like Snowden did the worst thing. Making I don't know if I talked about this on the pod yet, but making people know collateral damage happens. This is not a mystery. It happens, and it's a part of war. But to, directly kind of pull the curtain on what your government is doing, and to kind of just completely make it all about yourself when COINTEL and counterintelligence, and that something like that is probably happening, that it's just a part of war. It's a part of counterintelligence, that collateral damage happens in a war, and that to cast a light on the NSA spying on people in an era where people are already paranoid, but the NSA is not really taking actions against everybody they feel like is breaking a crime. So they are kind of working under the covers to kind of hopefully make fight terrorism and stuff like that, right? So that it doesn't seem like they're attacking average citizens and trying to arrest people for minor drug offenses based on the information that they're getting. That's just not what they are acting upon. And so, Julian Assange just brings the platform for people to do this. I thought it was unwarranted for Edward Snowden to just completely fucking, throw the country under the bus and try and pretend like it's the most awful thing in the world, when these are tools that the enemy is using against Western civilization. And as long as you're not using it against your own people, then fine. I mean, but were there war atrocities? Yes. Is war a good thing? No. Was this frivolous war in the Middle East at all worth pursuing? Absolutely not. Did we waste too much money on it and not give enough money to our own domestic problems? Absolutely. But that being said, what are we? What is the purpose of divulging this information to the Russian governments and trying to seek asylum there when they're the worst? All you did essentially was give Russia a another talking point to be able to say, hey, look, the West isn't any different from us. Oh, look, now we're attacking Ukraine. Oh, but you can't say anything again bad about it because, you know, you did this, that, and the other. It was just a destabilizing thing, and I think it was unwarranted, and you know, I just think there's certain things like people, you know, everybody acts like they can handle or information that they feel like that should be public, but certain things need to be kept into secrecy because the public can't be trusted with information. They will just bastardize it in order to create these revolutions that will ultimately end up making the world a worse place. And you know, I'm in Canada, and I see these effects of misinformation also. Like, for instance, like I've seen multiple advertisements, whether it be on the radio or billboards, about net zero oil sands, about how, all these oil sands companies, they got together and did a study, and look what they found out. They found out that oil sands actually aren't that bad. Shocker. But so they're saying they can get oil through net zero technology is basically what they are saying. But what they are not saying is that look at the lands that are being used to get oil sands. They are uninhabitable wastelands. It's basically like taking a fertile and robust land and turning it uninhabitable. Like Fort McMurray in Alberta is just a fucking pile of goddamn dirt being leveled. Like, you can't grow anything there. But you're using net zero. You're using an electric fucking drill to do your digging, and so that's net zero. Fuck that. There's no way oil can be viewed as some sort of net benefit for humanity to keep sucking on its tit. It's fucking fossil fuels. It's digging up the ground, and whether or not you're using some super great technology to dig it up, that doesn't have an impact on the fact that you're devastating the land that could priorly be used to grow vegetation or fucking skyscrapers or fucking condos or whatever. The land, they're inhabitable, and it's all for oil. And to be honest, we don't need that. You're saying that is more that because you're using net zero technologies to dig up the earth and making earth inhabitable, that is somehow on par with like using solar technology. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. And it doesn't matter what sort of net zero technology you're using to perpetuate fossil fuels. The fact of the matter is you're perpetuating fucking fossil fuels. You know? It makes sense. It makes just as much sense as fucking using like crypto mining technology, using computers to guess at algorithms to unlock fucking coins, instead of just saying, hey, we can use a technology to say the coins are there to begin with, and we don't have to use microchips to guess at random digits of encryption to unlock bags of coins to putting like all these unnecessary parameters on something that doesn't need to have them. Just lots of things pissing me off in the Canadian political landscape. Now, I got a lot of heat on Twitter for coming against the CUPE's what I felt was a awfully timed demand of the taxpayers. So the CUPE, which represented custodial workers and special needs education workers inside of schools, striked and basically made it so that kids cannot go to school unless they give them a raise that they wanted, or the type of raise that they wanted. And I just felt like this is, after we got out of the pandemic and before we're about to get into a recession, to come out and, demand that the taxpayers give you a raise. Otherwise, you're willing to throw kids' education under the bus after all the shit that they've been through. It's just absolutely ridiculous. And they want to bring up the fact that $39K, $40K isn't enough for these workers, but they get summers off and they have all weekends off. I got news for you. If I don't make, what do you want to make? $60K and get summers and weekends off? What are you, fucking skilled trade? You're not a skilled trade. It's a fucking, it's a janitor's job. But because it's inside of a school, you can hold a kid's education hostage in order to get what you want? Fuck no. And I understand inflation is up, but we have the wrong way in Canada of going about it. We need to create a more open, free market. We need to have more medium income jobs. I got news for you. That custodial worker could come to my work and make $50,000 a year, and make $50,000-$60,000 a year. But you have to work Saturdays and you have to work 10-hour shifts. Because that's what everyone else in the world has to do. So you're saying there are custodial workers who own their own company that probably don't make that, or the only custodial workers who do that are the ones who own their own company, and you have to work long hours to get that. So just because this is a job that is protected by the Ontario government, or it's a job that's inside of an Ontario government facility, that it's worth getting paid the same as a fucking skilled tradesman? Get out of here. And I'm sick of this whole, our government, I see a lot of parallels. I see a lot of similarities between the CUPE protest and the truckers convoy. And both of them I was against. Okay? Now, I'm probably the only person who thinks, okay, if you want, for using the Emergency Act was okay in both situations in order to get people back to work. Now, if it's okay one way, it's okay the other. And I didn't have an issue with them using it to get, because the truckers convoy was fucking our economy. And now I don't have a issue of Doug Ford using it because the fucking CUPE workers are fucking our economy. So whatever, it is what it is. We need to find a better way of doing things that isn't just let's shut everything down because we have a petty little difference. Because so let's refuse to do anything. This is not the way forward. And I always say on this podcast that I feel like us in America have very different problems. And I think that one of the problems in Canada is that we do not have enough of a free market. And the only way to get success in this market is to do things like being a union and striking and withholding services and withholding your services. This is just not the way forward, and it's not a reasonable way forward. We need to attract businesses and in order to have a strong economy. We should not be saying that, okay, you're a janitor here, but if you're a janitor there, then that's much better outcome for you. Like, come on, that's no way forward. That's not reasonable. That's not reasonable, and it's not effective, and it doesn't help. It doesn't help the middle class. It doesn't help the median class get more wealth. It just helps a certain group of people, who wind the most and who have the most power because of the job they randomly happen to find themselves into, that they are the ones who are deserving of raises. No. We need to build the middle class, and we need to build our economy, and we have too much of a habit of looking at what's going on in America and saying, hey, we need to do the exact opposite. America maybe needs to do the exact opposite, and they've gone too hard in a free market direction. But Canada, we've gone in the other direction. We're saying only government workers are the ones deserving of the most money, because they have the collective bargaining and they have the government behind them, and we need them. And if they strike, then they can just completely topple over our economy. And what makes it even more offensive is the fact that during COVID, that the schools were absolutely pandered to for no real reason that I can identify. Like, so the education minister that we had was out there saying that COVID did not spread in schools, and that was a reason for keeping schools open while the rest of the workers had to go into lockdown, while people were collecting CERB, this government paycheck for having your employment affected by COVID. So while this was happening, the teachers were protected by our Ministry of Education by getting and they even though people were getting COVID in schools, and it was not just a thing where kids weren't spreading COVID. What the government is saying is they can shut down these trucker convoy protests and accuse them of misinformation, but they can go and have a minister tell us something that is the exact same, but that doesn't qualify as misinformation because they are a minister. How fucking, and that is a problem with Canada. That is a problem with Canada, is that the government can say the exact same thing as trucker convoy protests, and they're not accused of misinformation just because of who they work for. Okay, guys, I have a little bit of breaking news for you. Zach Wilson and the New York Jets just defeated the Buffalo Bills. Only 1 week after Zach Wilson was written off as a bust by a majority of the mainstream media, not including myself. I actually, it's weird. Like, I gave a point out to one of my friends. I said, we allow religion to permeate in our society for thousands of years with minimal results, but we want to give up on our quarterbacks after one bad game. And people wanted to give up on Zach Wilson after one bad game. And we're saying he's a bust after one bad game. I mean, that's a little ridiculous. And now, what I told my friend, I said, Zach Wilson has shown more than any of the other quarterbacks in that particular draft class, because he has shown that A, he has a great arm, and B, he's elusive as fuck, and can he utilizes his elusivity, and can also hurt you with his arm. And you know what? He had a bad game last week, and he was trying to do too much. And I said the number one thing with him was that he did not take his open reads. And if you think about the things that a quarterback could possibly be bad at, not being able to escape pressure, or not being able to have the arm to hit deep balls, or not being accurate with of the things that you could possibly be bad at, not going to your open read right away, that's down there. That's not that's something that is more easily fixable than not being able to hit the intermediate area of the field or the deep level of the field. So he had one bad game and was trying to do too much. And to be honest with you, that the pass interference call that was called on that Jets D guy that negated the pick six, that shifted the game, and rightfully so. I mean, that should have put the Jets up 17-3 or something, and would have made New England a lot more predictable. So I mean, no one he tried to do too much, but he kind of had to get back into the game. So I wasn't willing to just write that off as Zach Wilson bad. And he has shown very he's super athletic and can be elusive, and he has a great arm, and that alone is worth and that alone carries its weight. And that alone is worth taking, not just dumping the fucking kid and not working with him. The mental side of the game is the one that you have to develop the most. That's the one that Tom Brady has excelled at. And the reason why he's the greatest quarterback in the league, because he just fucking mentally dissects defenses and takes what they're giving to him shamelessly, without fucking without hesitation. So we're very eager to give up. We're a little too eager to give up on these guys, where they need time to develop. I mean, look at Geno Smith. Geno Smith coming along after all these years, in bad systems, and then coming along and all of a sudden popping off. Yeah, because he had the physical tools. A lot of these guys, if you're in the top 1%, which is the NFL is the top 1% of college athletes, you're the top 1% of college athletes, the only thing you have left to figure out is the mental side of the game. That's the only thing you have to figure out. You don't. Your physical attributes are already proven. That's why you're in the NFL to begin with. Alright, so I have a little bit of a strange thing to do. I'm not sure how to come to grips with it quite myself yet. But I have to, as a TWA2K podcast, I have to reverse a pouring of one out. A few pods ago, I poured one out for my guy Nathan Rourke, a BC Lions quarterback, formerly of the Ohio Bobcats. that I thought was really doing great in the CFL, and I loved watching him play. So he suffered a Liz Frank injury and thought he was done for the season. But here he is playing in a playoff game versus Calgary. After coming back, he came back last week. So I have to reverse the pouring of one out for Nathan Rourke, and the game just started. Hopefully he wins because, as I said in the podcast, he made it worth watching the CFL. And I would love to see, who knows, I would love to see him in the future. I don't know how close to 100% he was. He played limited snaps versus Winnipeg last week. So, we'll see what happens. Calgary started with the ball, and they're currently driving at the BC 30. So we're going to see what's going to happen, and I'll at least stick around on the pod until Nathan has had his first drive. So Calgary just only picked up 3 yards on first down. So second down is do or die in the CFL because we only have 3 downs ever so stupidly. I guess the Calgary quarterback, it is his first game or something. I guess the regular quarterback got injured. So we'll see what happens here. Here it's 2nd and 5. I thought he only picked up 3. But it's 2nd and 5. So I thought it was a lot longer than that. It's 2nd and 6, let's just say. Alright. Drops, throws, incomplete. 3rd down. So they're going to have to go for a field goal. So good. Nathan Rourke is, I find him and Zach Wilson pretty similar. Nathan Rourke has a really good balance of arm precision, arm strength, and elusivity. If I don't mind saying that again, because I'm smart and I know it's a word. So, okay, let's see if the kicker can nail this. From the right hash. I just think you're really stupid if you miss to the right side. No, and he obviously didn't. So, okay, 3-0 for Calgary. They got the ball. If BC can score here, that's pretty cool. Nathan Rourke, the satisfaction guaranteed watching Nathan Rourke on for some college football. We just got a couple more topics left before we finish off the show. So, I wanted to let you know, have you guys ever gotten kid flexed? Have you guys ever gotten a child flexed on you? I want to let you know because in one of my fantasy leagues, I did get that happen to me. So, let me explain myself. So it was I was a league I just joined, and it was barely hanging on, and we kind of wanted to do a redraft, and I said, my team is fucked, and we should do a redraft because it's changing the dynamic of the league from 12 players to 10 players. And so this guy says to me, he's like, "Oh, haven't you seen the Frozen? Let It Go." And says yeah, Let It Go, for Frozen or whatever, because that's a song or whatever. And I'm just like, bro, I have no idea what you're talking about. I only watch movies that are made for adults. He's like, "Oh, yeah, because you don't have a kid." It's like, is that some sort of fucking flex you're trying to pull on me? Because I don't know if you know that I'm fucking perfectly happy not having a kid, and it's probably making my life significantly better. If you were to just take an outside picture of your life versus mine and see who's living better with or without having a kid and knowing every single word to Let It Go from the Frozen Disney movie, I would venture to say that at least half the people analyzing both our situations outside looking in perspective. Well, I don't know if you guys can hear that. I got I don't know if you guys can hear that. Okay, sorry about that. So yeah, from outside looking in perspective, I don't think many people would say that you knowing how to recite Disney's Frozen off the top of your head versus me only watching cool shit and not having children to worry about is the undesirable position to be in. Think you're a little delusional there, bro. And that's just one of the many benefits of not having children. Like, it's like also, I'm at work. Oh, here goes Nathan Rourke driving. First down. Everybody looks like they fucking false start in CFL. Nathan, running. Nice, picks up 6 yards with his legs. So it's like fucking all these guys who have kids, and like one of these guys who was sick for like 3 days, and a bunch of guys at my work who had kids and were also sick, and so he's just like, oh yeah, you're the lucky one, you didn't get sick. I'm like, luck didn't have anything to do with it. I did not have kids, and therefore I had less exposure to fucking runts running around in their own fecal matter, and therefore did not get sick. I don't think luck had much to do with it. I think it was just a happenstance, a circumstance, if you will. So if me not having kids is considered unlucky, then I will take that. I will certainly take that. But it's no grand surprise that I did not get sick, not having a bunch of fucking shitlins who, lick fucking the soil and stick their fingers up their asses. It's not surprising that I didn't come down with any type of fucking sickness. So, maybe it's luck. Maybe I'm born with it. So, you choose which version of the truth you would like to accept. Okay, Nathan Rourke driving with a Calgary having a 3-0 lead. Butler out of the backfield. Maybe it's a draw to him. Let's see. He's lined up in shotgun. I think it could be a draw. It definitely was a draw. Oh, and he's going to go in for a touchdown. Oh, no. Down to the 5-yard line. What a call. That's what I'm talking about. That's the fucking freaky play calling I'm talking about. What a play call on a draw. Whoa, to Butler. Let's go. Let's go, Nathan Rourke. Lead block by the fucking left tackle. Get the fuck out of here. And then cut back inside. Ooh, that was a thing of beauty. That was a beauty play call. 2nd and 3. See if Nathan Rourke can cap this off. 1st and goal from the Calgary 5. Play action. Oh, he tripped as he handed it off to Butler. Gave it up. And he's taken down behind the line of scrimmage. So now it's 2nd and goal from like the 9 or 10. Did he trip up on himself, or what happened here? Let's see. He just handed it off, and then Calgary had just had the run, just guarded. The trip didn't matter, really. All right, here we go. 2nd and goal from the 10. Incompletion. So they'll have to settle for a field goal. Oh, this is going to be a crazy game. I don't know. Should I keep the pod on for it or not? If I had more followers, I certainly would consider it. But here, let's go through one more topic, and then we'll end it. He almost caught it too. That would have been down at the 1 yard line. Then it would have been 3rd and 1. And then that would have been a decision. They probably still would have kicked it. They're in BC. Tie game. All right. So, last topic before we cut this off. So, I don't know if you guys have dealt with this before. It's been kind of like a unique circumstance for me. Have you guys ever had like weed fascists, like fucking weed Nazis, like where they have to smoke weed a very particular type of way, otherwise they're fucking like, so for instance, like I had a guy who always had to smoke with filters and was just fucking super fucking anal about smoking weed with fucking smoking his joints with fucking filters on it. And like, for me and my way of thinking, I'm just like, let's roll one up and that's that. I mean, it's not like a very big deal, and I don't like to, here's a filter and we have to roll a 1.25 quarter joint and lick it a certain way. Like I just fucking get it going and smoke it, and that's it. And so there are people who fucking like are absolutely hell bent on making sure that a fucking like filter fucking folded out to the exact proper proportions, and we must do this to the exact way, otherwise I don't want to smoke the joint. It's like, bro, weed is producing the exact opposite result that it should produce. Like, you should not be like a fucking a weed fucking Nazi. If you are fucking super particular about any aspect of weed, you should actually consider that maybe the weed just is not working for you, and that you need to drink alcohol or something. I don't know what you need to do, but that is like, weed is supposed to make you cool. If you are smoking weed and being a fucking filter fascist, or a fucking a particularist about exactly how you're supposed to be smoking your weed, then weed is, you've jumped the shark at that point, and maybe you should look at scaling your weed use back, because it's producing the opposite result that it should be. So, as Nathan Rourke drives down the field, this is Calgary. Calgary has the ball. As Calgary drives down the field, and hopefully Nathan Rourke wins this game and gets to the Grey Cup miraculously. Let's root for our guy. Let's root for our guy to change a game. Oakville native, Canadian native, Nathan Rourke, who crushed it in the MAC, and is crushing it in the CFL, and is just back off his injury. Hopefully he can get to the Grey Cup finals and take one for the North. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that was the world according to Kyle Podcasts. I hope you enjoyed, everybody, and I will see you on the next one.